How you doing, guys? Zogon SeyDas. I'm gonna give you this idea today, right? New wave democracy. The current democratic model is one shift, and I talked about two shift, three shift democracy in the future. The more serious we get as a world, as a people, as a species, first of all, because I don't know if it's newsflash to y'all, but we're not the number one species in the world right now. And if we're not number one, what does that make us? Number two, number three, number four, number five, number six, number seven, number what? We're not number one. What is that? If we have threats to us, whether they're aliens, interdimensional, whatever, what is that? Anyways, your vision will change the more knowledge you get. New wave democracy. Sorry, let me bring myself down. Oh, I got to technical difficulties. I apologize. Wrong one. Okay. New wave democracy. The current system, one shift. Current system thinks that there should only be one level of government that sort of oversees everything. Not really one level because there's municipal, provincial, etc. But I mean like the one thing that, for example, the president, prime minister does, it is only discussed in the House of Commons or the courthouse or the Senate or wherever. You understand what I'm saying? Things like this. What is the philosophy of the country? Where do we see the world going? What are we going to do with the people? You see how Xi Jinping, right? He had this thing where he banned feminine music and stuff because he's like, we need you guys to be manly. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Because when there's war, you're going to need some pretty cutthroat people. Right? Anyways, a long time ago, in my opinion, when there was great empires, whether that was the Chinese, the Warring Kingdoms empires, you know, or Napoleon empires or whatever, there was always philosophers that were inside the government. They had one job to advance the society. In the past 30, 40 years, do you think we've been advancing? Or have we fallen in love with corporations and capitalism and free markets and the world of economics? And as an economics major, it's a beautiful system. Innovation, technology. Could it be better? Of course. But have we been advancing as a society? No. The average person, in my opinion, lacks motivation, the discipline, the sacrifice. The average person is too tied up in entertainment, gossip, a little bit of work, etc., etc. If I took a poll right now, a census for the country, how many people do you think would be wanting to throw away their dreams and goals, whatever they're working on, to go for the government? Work on a government picture, something like rebuilding Canada, rebuilding USA. Would I have citizens from all over the world come and help me rebuild the country? They're going to say, well, if we get paid, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm telling you that we need to do this for our future, would you contribute manpower? It'd be a little bit we tried to pay you, right? We tried to pay you with like dollars, whatever, currency. But how many of you would actually come to help us rebuild? When there is a natural disaster, the military steps in to rebuild. Companies come in. What about the citizens? How big of the picture do you want to be a part of, right? When we look at old civilizations, and I'm freestyling, when we look at old civilizations, the people would actually come together as one when it was time. Because they knew that they're not living in a fairy tale. They knew that there is threats outside the country, threats outside the world, threats outside wherever. Whatever the status quo is, that's the status quo. There's some reiteration, such as making the government 24/7, upgrading all governmental infrastructure because the country runs on the government. So the government should have the highest infrastructure of all. I don't even understand this stuff. The yellow taping, all this stuff, the government runs the country. As to why it's not 24/7, you're not taking it serious. You're not taking it serious. And then you'll say, but bro, I can't work 12 hours a day. I can't work 15, 16. Well, yeah, that's because you're not in the empire state of mind. You are not in the empire state of mind. You are running your country as simply a country. It is the fault of globalism where you think that everyone is here to work together. But in reality, some countries are just here to get your money, build up their country, and then set their narrative. It is the fault and the comfortability of man in other countries that will be the downfall of many nations. Because the mindset of the average man is so fucking small. And that is why there was pharaohs, kings. That is why there was levels to this stuff. That is why there is philosophy in the government. This isn't law that I'm talking about. I would have given this speech in front of the whole Senate, in front of the whole fucking country. But here I am watching the West diminish, the West fall away. Number one in the world. Army failing, education failing, health failing, monetary value failing. You're lucky I love freedom. You're lucky I'm on your side. You're very lucky I was actually fucking reincarnated and born. I swear to you, my people, if I don't see philosophers in government, you are all living in delusionary mass psychosis. And this is how shit like Hitler happens, where one man, one country takes on the whole world. So I'm gonna give you some of my mindset. And if every country adopted this, then we can move on to space and saving the world. We have 20 to 40 years on what? Global warming, ocean acidification, ecosystem failures, extinctions. You're still talking about genders. You're still talking about societal things. Save that shit for the hair salon. Save that shit for the grocery store. Save that shit for universities and colleges. If you are of the military, you love this country. But I am of this world and I love this world. And I live for the future, meaning my kids, my future family, my future people, my country, the aspirations, evolution, the preservation of my species. I kid you not. The world will have to change its ways eventually, or you will seriously just fall, and you will not make it. There are many continents that have contributed almost nothing to the world. Almost nothing to the world. Does the science not scare you that we might lose our planet? Our air, our water, the food that you eat, the heat in your house? Mass psychosis. Oh, you think you're of a higher profession, so you know more than me. I talk to your heart, you fool. Do I need to open up your heart for you to see? New wave democracy. There are 4 seasons in my country. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me move this down. We are to consider this a period. 4 seasons. The calendar year we split up into 4. There are to be plans made, whether that is philosophy, the current state of the people, the whatever, and you are to evolve society along with the laws. You are to evolve the mentality of the individual man and woman. So when people ask me one day, why are we fighting here? What are we doing here? Why are we at war? You will all understand what's going on because we evolved you as a people. Now, what do I say when there are plans and stages? I will have a yearly plan when I am elected president, prime minister, pharaoh, whichever. The yearly plan is not just campaign promises. The yearly plan is the status quo of what the country should be. You want the American dream? We have to rebuild. The philosophy. The yearly plan is to be split into all 4 sections. The movement of the government right now is a little bit reactionary, which is fine. This motive means we have to get this set of laws done, this set of laws done, this set of laws done, because we have to move as a society. You are living in a reactionary lawmaking system. Did the corporation violate our rights? Did this, and that? It can work. It's helping the people. It's a good system. You just need another government. Not municipal, not provincial, not federal, not shadow. These people will stay in office for over 60, 70 years. These people that are the philosophers will stay in government for 50 to 60 to 70 years. You're making a lifetime commitment. It's a little bit different. Back in the day, this is how it was. Because I had a long time to develop vision and the people couldn't see it. This is what it was. Philosophy in the government. You adopted a mock system, an incomplete system, a failing system, if you may look, and you may see. Many people won't even want to fight for their country. When that happens, you're supposed to change the national anthem. Forgive my tongue. Sometimes I lose it. You're supposed to change the national anthem if it can't get people riled up. When sometimes they hear it and the prime minister, the king, the queen, the pharaoh, they hear it and the prime minister walks out, they start to cry. Because they feel the pride. Where is the fucking pride? And this is what I mean. New wave democracy, government will have different venues. The philosophy of a kingdom shall still move on. Kings and queens, I ask you to actually do your job and not just take photos. This was very important. I'm literally watching people live on vacation. If I got paid $1 billion a year, I would be working every day. My whole life, every day. I wouldn't even have the time to spend it. I wouldn't even have the time to spend it because you made my job so fucking grand that the $1 billion would just sit there. And if I may die, all of the money, forgive me. I look like an idiot because this camera keeps overheating. If I may die, all of the money will go to my kids. Will they inherit my job? Of course not. When we develop a country, are you not saying a plan? By the year 2030, we will have this done. By the year 2040, we will have this done. By the year 2050, we will have this done. By the year 2060, we will have a space program. By the year 2070, we will have this. By the year 2080, we will have this. Or do you simply just wait for a president to come in? Like the dude who launched the internet? Thank you, I believe his name was Eisenhower. Is that what you're waiting for? For a president to come in and suddenly make change? Just the luck. Imagine if that dude didn't get elected. He launched DARPA and a whole bunch of stuff. Where will the world be if he didn't get elected? Please introduce philosophy to the government and a new structure. Think bigger, or you will become smaller. Thank you. Goodbye.